Hey guys, Dave Kincaid here. Hope you're having a great week. Listen, I want to shoot a video for you today called Grants Are All Uphill. And it's not to discourage you, but hopefully to encourage you to keep going in grants. I've had two stories in the last couple weeks, and they're kind of related, so I just wanted to share them with you this week so that, well, basically you can get your business funded with grants. So the first one is a company that approached me, and I did a grant calendar for them, and then I booked sort of some working sessions with them over, 3 months, depending on how long they could get up and get going on their own. And initially, they ran into a lot of roadblocks. For example, they got busy, and then the next thing was they emailed a couple grant agencies and hadn't heard back. So then I met with them. I said, hey, CC the boss basically, and see what happens. And I hadn't heard from them, and then it comes back a week later, and the client tells me, wow, like they immediately got a response. They've had a meeting. They're setting up their systems and processes, and away they go. So they're going to get a system in place where they can hire workers, get a grant for it, and then get a system in place where they can do that again and again on future hires. So my lesson for you here is this, from the time they met me to the time where they are now, it was almost, let's say, could be 2-3 months. And it's just constantly seems in grants went through this process that it's like, it's kind of, you hit these roadblocks, but you got to keep going and keep busting through. And then once you're through, you're good. But it just seems if you don't dedicate time, if you're not intentional, if your team's not accountable, these things can fall off. So you can do one part of grants, find your grants, but if you stop there and you don't keep pushing through, you don't get what you eventually started, which is a grant to get either a product or, in this case, a staff. The same thing with another story, which is along this theme of you can't give up in grants. You just got to keep going. And it pertained to, I met a really cool company in the summer. I went to a conference. And initially, our first grant that I was going to, so I did the same thing. I did a calendar for them. And the first grant that we were going to do was with this innovation fund. I wrote a blog about this a long time ago, and what happened was, rather than write it, I said, look, just write a one-pager, shoot it to them, see if you fit their definition of innovation. Because oftentimes, like, innovation is very broad, and they may want something very specific. And even though you think you're doing something innovative, if they don't think it's innovative, like it's leading to a patent, or it's the first time something's ever been done, they might not fund you. Other cases, if you're doing something innovative, it might work. So I said, do something short, send it to them, see what they say. And they come back, and we got the feeling that it wasn't that innovative. Like sometimes they don't like to say, oh, no, it's not. Sometimes they do, but oftentimes like, well, you can apply and see what happens. That's not good. You want them to be like, oh, that's awesome, apply. So we said no to that, and then we eventually went after another grant, which we just found out 2 weeks ago. They won. And then now there's an employee grant that they're about to win, it looks like. And that was a really short and quick one. Well, I first met that client in, I think it was August of last year, and we're at June the following year writing this. So I mean, it wasn't like we were working out full time, but sometimes that's sort of the ebb and flow of businesses, that it takes time. You got to keep going, not give up. Talk to a grant agency. Oh, no, not a good fit. So what do? You get frustrated and you don't want, no, you got to keep going. Find that great grant, apply for it, make sure you're a good fit. And then you can't stop there either. You got to have a kickoff meeting when you win it and make sure you're doing your bookkeeping appropriately. But if you do it that way, it's way easier. I know I'm making it seem like it's a lot of work. It is, but in a way, it's like if you don't give up and you keep pushing, it can happen for you. And then winning these again is much easier. You've got the copy in place, all the content. You've got all the documents together in one place. Often a lot of these grants you can win again. So my message for you today is, if you're out there and you're in sort of the grant space, you could be a nonprofit, you could be a business, don't give up. I know it's frustrating. It's grants can be measured in months, like many months. And I think if you know that going in, you can prepare for it. You can plan for it. And the other thing, I just want to leave you with one more tip this week, 'cause this is something else I learned. And that is, the more research you can do at the beginning, like, really figuring out before you invest a lot of capital in something. I'm talking about at the very, very early stages. It's good to get all these answers out before you spend a bunch of money. I know I'm switching gears a little bit here, but with planning and research before, like, a lot of people can spend a lot of money investing in a business and then want grants once they're way in. But with some work and planning up front, you can get a lot of these answers early on. You can say, hey, is my project innovative? And contact them, or my idea, is this something you'd fund? And get some feedback before you spend money. Okay, I'm going kind of long this week. Sorry about that. But I hope that my message is clear. Don't give up. When you get going, you get your grants. Go to a grant. If they say no, go to another one. There's all kinds of. My website at Alberta Business Grants has 900 and some grants on there. So find that right grant and keep pushing. Hope you found this helpful, and I hope you're doing great and having a great week. Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.